Episode 6 of Creature Commandos just dropped, and we finally got our first glimpse of Gotham City in the DCU, along with Batman himself. That's right, the Caped Crusader made an appearance in this episode, and the Creature Commandos are getting closer to the castle to take on Princess Ilana. But will they make it there? Let's dive into all of that and more in this video, so stick with me to catch every little detail. What's up, guys? Welcome to Comic Chronicles. Creature Commandos is approaching its finale, with the next episode wrapping up the first season, and expectations for the final showdown are sky high. So far, the show hasn't delivered a genuinely bad episode, which only increases the anticipation for a strong season conclusion. If you're a fan of DC or even Marvel and want to keep up with all the happenings in the DCU James Gunn's new universe, you've come to the right place for the scoop. So hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. Your like and subscription mean the world to us, helping this video reach more viewers. Show us some love, and we'll keep dishing out the best content about our favorite superheroes every day. Thanks a ton, and let's get into the video. We start in the past, in the shadowy city of Gotham, watched over by gargoyles, where Dr. Alexander Sartorius jumps out of a moving van to escape the mobster Rupert Thorne and his goons. Fast forward to present day, Dr. Alexander, now known as Dr. Phosphorus, is hiding from the Royal Guard of Pokalistan, just like the other members of Task Force M. After Flag Sr. tipped off the princess about Waller's order to eliminate her, Ilana alerted the army to protect her, stopping them and, if needed, taking them out. Meanwhile, Flag is being treated in the hospital with serious injuries after his scuffle with Clayface, and Waller is trying to figure out how he ended up there. Here's the kicker, the episode doesn't reveal what happened to Clayface after their last showdown, and furthermore, here we have confirmation that Rick Flag Sr. did not die. From what Amanda gathered, Eric Frankenstein left Flag in the hospital, and if he told the monster where the bride is, he's probably trying to stop her from killing the princess, which, according to Cersei, could trigger World War III. In a security measure, Waller orders increased surveillance at the airports, but it's already too late. Frankenstein is already on a private jet, having killed the passengers and forced the pilot to take off, hoping that when he finds the bride and tells her she was played, she'll fall for him. Still on the run, Phosphorus ducks into a house to hide, where he sees pictures that trigger memories, taking him back to a moment near the start of the episode, playing with his son and arguing with his wife about whether working with Thorne was truly the only way to continue his cancer research. He insisted on continuing with the mobster, which led to his greatest regret, as Thorne and his henchmen ended up killing his wife and son and framed him for it, as a lesson for cheating on his research results. After that, they took Alex to their lab to find the true results of his research. When they uncovered the folder with the findings, they threw Alex into a chamber and turned it on, exposing him to lethal radiation, or so Thorne thought. That's how Dr. Phosphorus was born. When he emerged from the chamber, he went on a revenge spree, eliminating Thorne, his family, and all his goons. Just like that, Thorne's entire crime empire fell under Phosphorus's control, well, at least until Batman showed up. As he reminisces, a little girl from the house he broke into wakes up, and even though he's being gentle with her, his words suggest it won't end well for her, as she shouldn't have seen him there. At one point, screams are heard, and the girl's parents wake up and rush to help her. When they arrive, they're shocked to see the skeleton just playing around and tossing the girl in the air, with her squealing in delight. Seeing the frightened parents, he drops the kid and makes his way toward the castle. Meanwhile, Nina and Bride enter a shady house and force the women there to hide them from the guards. While waiting for things to cool down, two guys burst in and quickly take one of the women upstairs. Hearing screams, the Madam, Nina, and Bride head up to see what's going on. One of the men turns out to be a metahuman and hurts the woman. The Madam tries to intervene but ends up getting hurt too, prompting Nina and Bride to take down the two guys until they're out cold. Afterward, the two leave, receiving thanks from the woman they protected. An interesting dynamic between Nina and Bride is the friendship that's been developing between them. They're completely different, and this bond makes me wonder if, in the final episode, one of them might end up sacrificing herself to save the other. Maybe that won't happen, but it's a thought. As for Weasel, he fled into the woods and ended up surrounded by a pack of wolves ready to pounce. Just when it seemed like he'd fight back, he picks up a stick and starts playing with the wolves all night, eventually falling asleep curled up with them. At dawn, he wakes up to the image of the blonde girl he tried to save in the school fire, quickly replaced by a vision of the princess, who looks a lot like the child. So, he heads toward the castle but not before looking back and hesitating, wanting to stay with the wolves. You know, this scene makes me think that Weasel might end up sacrificing himself in the next episode. He could end up protecting the princess but not make it out alive. The sad part is considering the possibility of him dying without anyone knowing what he actually did in the past, that his punishment was unjust. To wrap things up, Frankenstein has just landed the plane in Pokalistan. It's almost comical how he operates, taking out the passengers without a shred of remorse or reason while talking about love. By the end of the episode, we see all the guards at the castle ready for war, as the monsters from Task Force M approach the castle in a striking scene of them walking side by side, something quite common in James Gunn's productions. Guys, this episode was fantastic. I can't decide which one has been better so far, the one with Weasel or this one with Dr. Phosphorus. Both are really solid. This episode features 2 voice actor appearances. Rupert Thorne is voiced by Benjamin Byron Davis. Davis previously voiced Dutch van der Linde in the Red Dead Redemption video game series. As for the Madam, she is voiced by Shora Agdashlu. She played Nadia Moroni on The Penguin, which I should clarify takes place in a different universe than the DCU. I can't help but mention how cool the opening scene in Gotham was. Just by putting up buildings and a gargoyle, you instantly recognize that it's Gotham City, no need for a caption. The greenish tint in the flashback captures the Gotham vibe perfectly. My only criticism about Gotham is that it needed more blimps in the sky and more gothic buildings. Who knows, maybe in the future of the DCU, they'll change that in live action. Fingers crossed. Also, did you notice that there are Easter eggs from Batman Forever and Batman and Robin in this episode? That's right folks, Phosphorus's goons are a clear reference to the gangs that were in those 2 movies. Now let's talk about Batman. I think the silhouette we saw was just a makeshift design of the character. James Gunn mentioned in a recent interview with Rotten Tomatoes that when he received episode 6 of Creature Commandos, they showed more of the bat suit, but he requested more silhouettes since he couldn't commit to specifics. This is pretty clear considering there's no officially cast actor for the DCU Batman yet, but from the silhouette alone, we can see that the Batman in the DCU is a more seasoned version. He's big, reminding me a bit of Frank Miller's Batman or some of the more muscular takes on the character. I believe this pretty much shuts down any discussion about Robert Pattinson's Batman moving into the DCU, but honestly, many won't stop talking about it until the official casting announcement finally comes. Now, looking more closely at the image, some people notice what looked like trunks on Batman's suit, and if that's true, we could be looking at a suit that aligns more with the comics, which I would totally dig. I'd even bet that this suit came to James Gunn in gray and blue, with a yellow utility belt and trunks. I'm just not sure if the emblem would be a loose bat on the chest or a yellow ellipse, but either way, if the suit is anywhere in that ballpark, I'm here for it. But let's keep it real, what we can be sure of besides Batman's physical build is that the ears on the cowl are small, and it looks like he has white lenses. Furthermore, continuing on with the interview, James Gunn, co-CEO of DC Studios, stated that this Batman exists in the DCU, that the Dark Knight is already a part of this universe and has an impact on it. Gunn emphasized that Batman is one of his favorite characters, they're going to do great things with him, and he can't wait for people to see more of him, just as we will with Superman in the future, and potentially the 2 together. Additionally, he reiterated that this Batman's origin story won't be retold in this universe, just like Superman's. Given these statements from James Gunn, we can confidently conclude that they're going to do amazing things with Batman in the DCU, and I'd even suggest it's possible for Gunn to take on the Brave and the Bold film to write and direct. He mentioned recently that he plans to take on another future DCU project, and since we don't have any concrete information, I see this as a possibility. Honestly, I'd love for a future Batman and Superman film in the DCU to be titled World's Finest. It would be a fantastic title and could really capture their dynamic, just like in the comics, focusing more on their friendship and partnership rather than them clashing. Guys, Creature Commandos episode was undoubtedly one of my favorites, but now I want to hear your thoughts. Did you enjoy episode 6 of Creature Commandos? Did you like the brief appearance of Batman? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that sphere, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. As soon as the last episode of Creature Commandos drops, I'll have a full review with spoilers, Easter eggs, and all the goodies, so subscribe to stay updated and don't miss a thing. Thanks so much for being here, and see you next time.